Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a great and wonderful day. And it seems that we have a case here regarding with the Covenant shooter, because this person seems to always spark some controversy around things, and I don't know what else to tell you guys. It's pretty diabolical. Well, what we have here is journalists are now being threatened with jail. Yeah, you guys heard that right. Journalists are now being threatened with jail for releasing the Covenant shooter manifesto. That's what's going on here. So without further ado, my friends, let me get into this. We have journalists threatened with jail over publishing trans shooter deranged journal writings. A journalist from the Tennessee Star is being summoned to appear in court and faces jail time for publishing journal writings of transgender shooter sparking freedom of the press concerns. The article revealed that the Covenant shooter who shot and killed 6 people at the Covenant Elementary School in March 2023 wrote about her imaginary we're just going to use Rod, and how she would kill to get puberty blockers weeks before her horrific act. For more than a year, Nashville Chancellor Ashley Miles has been presiding over a public records use wherein the plaintiffs are suing to get the rights to release documents related to the shooting. Families of the victims are on the exact opposite side, but since the case is ongoing, Miles is claiming that the Tennessee Star may have published certain purported documents and information that should have remained under seal. At Miles' request, Tennessee Star Editor-in-Chief Michael Patrick Leahy will appear in court Monday to explain why his news outlet didn't violate the court order. And of course, why is it, first off, this is not really to hate on women here, but why is it always women that's going out and doing stuff like this, right? Why is it always like these people go and do this? And what's worse is that this is a black woman that's enforcing this type of stuff. It's really quite insane. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the guys that actually do this stuff at this level are even worse. But it's really discerning on how these women are constantly doing this. It says Leahy, who also serves as a CEO of Star's News digital media publisher of the Tennessee Star, claims his outlet has done nothing wrong throughout the course of its reporting. The Star has claimed a June 5th story didn't actually publish any of the leaked images of her journal entries, but just snippets from it, reported the Associated Press. This could raise First Amendment issues, said Deborah Fisher, Tennessee Coalition for Employment Government's executive director. I 100% agree that this opens a First Amendment issues, because now you're just silencing a reporter from actually doing reporting on people. That's kind of insane. You're silencing them. You're making them shut up about it. Like, I don't know where else you can't say this is not a First Amendment violation, but of course we see this constantly over time and time again, where the Democrats have to go and, do things where it violates the First Amendment, violates the Second Amendment, violates the Fifth Amendment, violates the Ninth Amendment, like the 14th Amendment. Like, they constantly violate our amendments at this point. Like, we don't have rights in this country anymore because the Democrats go and violate every single time that they have the chance to. Jeff Clark, a former U.S. attorney, also sided with Leahy, saying he was just doing a journalist's job and getting crucial information about the shooting. Leahy is in jeopardy in Tennessee state court for trying to get out the Covenant killer, Audrey's, we got to call the Monsters Manifesto, and presumably other info about her Clark. So that's what's going on here. And all this stuff, right? So this journalist is being attacked. So we have this here from Michael Schellenberger saying, Michael Patrick Leahy, a judge, doesn't have the right to force me to do something unconstitutional. Tennessee journalist faces jail for publishing quotes from the leaked writings of a mentally ill, trans-identified shooter. A school shooter, my apologies. One of the most famous moments in American journalism occurred in 1971 when the New York Times and the Washington Post published excerpts of what would be known as the Pentagon Papers. Daniel Ellsberg, a Defense Department analyst working for the RAND Corporation, had given the 2 newspapers his top-secret documents. They showed not only that the U.S. was losing the war in Vietnam, but that the Pentagon had known the U.S. wouldn't win the war for many years and kept fighting it anyway. the Pentagon had tried to prevent the publication of the documents, but the Supreme Court ruled that the First Amendment protected newspapers' right to publish them, even though Ellsberg had broken the law by leaking them. And that also goes to show with the modern day too, right? Does the U.S. actually think they're going to win a war without many of years, which, by the way, our government started to prop up among Americans? Again, it's like the only one time that we actually went to war, 2 times that we went to war was our own civil war, and then the next one would be the next one would be the World War II. Well, no, it'll be World War One, then World War II, and then next would be Vietnam, which we initiated, that we went into. Then we have the Iraq War, which we initiated, that we went into. And then we have now, again, another war, which we're initiating again, which that leads to maybe we could even say that the World War I was just, not really initiated by us necessarily, but all the other wars outside of World War II, is our fault. We initiated all of them. So it's just these people want to get money from us. That's plain and simple. So it says here, thanks to the Twitter files, we learned that the individuals with links to U.S. military and intelligence organizations have tried for years to convince reporters that they should no longer follow the Pentagon Papers. Principal, ostensibly, since doing so could help foreign adversaries. They use this argument at the same amount that they were attempting to pre-bunk the Hunter Biden laptop months before the New York Post published articles about its existence. Now we have this. Now, a judge in Tennessee may violate the Supreme Court's famous Pentagon Papers ruling and order a reporter in Nashville named Michael Behe to reveal the source of the documents leaked to him. The leaked documents in question came from a trans-identified woman named the Monster, who killed 6 people at a Christian school last year. So yeah, you can't. A reporter doesn't release the source of whoever gives stuff to them because to protect the actual source. So, the people don't go after them. That's kind of a reason why. And the court wants to go after this individual who did this. It's quite disgusting, really, on how this is going about. Like, what's going to happen to this individual when you release this person? Because when you release this person's source, you're going to have the entire trans movement going after this person wanting blood. That's just the way it's going to be, right? And so I don't see where any remote possibility this would be even a good thing. This is the reason why we have, we keep the source secret. If I ever get a source and somebody's tipping me off in the messages or whatever, which should be open, by the way, I'm not going to reveal on who did it. I am going to blur your name. I'm going to do the best that I can to prevent your actual identity being released, because I don't want some monster or animal coming after you for something that you want to prove right. This is integrity here. So again, the case is important to anyone who cares about free speech, a free press, and the Pentagon Papers principle. Leahy's attorney filed an emergency motion last week arguing that the judge's order would violate the First Amendment in Tennessee state law. And we have more here from Mike Ben saying this is insane. They are about to jail the brilliant journalist Michael Behe for obtaining a copy of the Transgender Covenant Killers Manifesto when the feds were trying to block the public from seeing it. And it goes on to say here that a reporter faces jail time unless he gives up a source at a hearing set Monday as of Friday COB. The CT of Appeals has not addressed his emergency motion to stay. Instead, this is the last opinion. This is the last opinion of the week. A routine slip and fall at a hotel, and then it's Miller time, when a journalist is about to be jailed after being reported to the CT by a rival journalist. Gets boring to point out that. But nothing is normal about the Covenant case. Their press corps should be on fire. With a few exceptions, this is what local investigative journalists are covering. This should be a national story. I 100% agree. Local media says school shooters threatening journal was a plea for help, and the journalist reporting on the cover-up is faulted for secretly leaking her documents. As a judge backs down, hearing otherwise left people scratching their heads as the newbie judge scrambled to come up with a reason for her hearing other than jailing a journalist for reporting cover-up. Landscaping hearing is a new one. So yeah, the judge is now worried. So this is what we get about here in this actual society, right? our government has to go out and censor people and its own American people to try to cover up their bad actions. That's what our government always does, and it always makes me question how people think how the government is always on our side when they constantly try to screw over Americans any single time that they get and violating our amendment rights. But of course, that doesn't matter, right? We are sheep to them. We are fodder. They don't care about us. And that's just the dark reality of things. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. Cause it's algorithmic disease that's so